Hello my friends, this is Roger Splish. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm asking the question, how is Paladins doing in 2021? Now this is a part of a series that I have on my channel, and feel free to check out the other episodes when it comes to games that I have enjoyed to play when they were released back in the days. It could be a game that was, released 2 years ago or maybe even 9 years ago, doesn't matter. And now it's time for Paladins, a game that I have played quite some, although not so much the last few years. Now I was an early bird when it comes to this game, and there's a reason for that. I was doing some reviews for a website called the Button Smashers. Now it's called simply Binge, also on YouTube. So we got keys in order to play, and I think it was in alpha at that time, playing through the launcher. And I remember saying already then that this game has potential, it's fun to play, and I'm looking forward to see what's gonna come out of it. And now all these years later, we know that it's still out there, people are playing it, and we're coming to that soon. The game was officially announced for the first time in early August 2015, and the Paladins closed beta started on November 17, 2015. So when the open beta started, the game first appeared on September 16, 2016 in the Steam Early Access program. And within a week of the open beta launch on Steam, the game had reached already 800,000 downloads and was one of the top 10 most played games on Steam. Hoorah, good job. And if I read this correctly, in June 2018, the game had reached an average of 8,000 active players per day, which is quite impressive. And if we're moving ahead in time, in December 2020, Paladins outnumbered 45 million players, making it one of the most played video games by player count. I didn't know that. That was new information for me. This is published by ADRESS Studios. It's done with the Unreal Engine 3, and it was released on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Mac OS also. I didn't know that, by the way. So what is Paladins exactly? Well, it's a free-to-play game to start with, that's nice. Free-to-play online hero shooter, you might say. And I was looking when it comes to the background, or the background story, the plot, you might say. I haven't really dived into that before. But again, this takes place in a sci-fi fantasy world called Realm. And right now on Steam, I think it's only called Paladins. It's been like that for some time. But when it was released the first time in 2016, it was called Paladins Champions of the Realm. So it takes place in the sci-fi or fantasy world that we have already mentioned, and there are elements of both like fantasy and science fiction in here, but it's also including some medieval looking soldiers, and they have ranged weapons such as shotguns and assault rifles instead of swords, but you'll find those kind of things in the game, don't you worry, as well, and bows. Now in the world of Paladins, there's a conflict between these two factions. One is called the Magistrate, and the other the Resistance Paladins. So while the Magistrate wants to control magic and preventing anyone but its members to use it, the Resistance claims that magic should be available for everyone and used for good. So champions were recruited in order to minimize casualties of regular foot soldiers, and the champions would be considered special forces as they are more efficient at combat than a regular soldier. So there you got it, that's more or less the background of Paladins. And it's a team-based first-person shooter as seen here, and focuses on two groups. It's 5 players each that competes for combat-based goals. And there are quite some different game modes, well, fairly enough I could say at least 4. And I hope they're still in the game as mentioned, and I have to say this for the video that I went back playing only half a day. I had a good time, don't get me wrong, but that was mainly for the sake of the video, so I haven't really seen if there's been like huge changes when it comes to the game modes. So we have the game mode called Siege, which is considered to be like the main Paladins game mode. 2 teams of 5 is racing against each other when it comes to capture the map's central capture point. And if you do that successfully, you will get a payload that you push towards this place into the enemy base. So each successful push or capture grants 1 point. You also have, I could talk more about that, but I'm moving on. So Onslaught, it's basically teams battle over a large combat area in an attempt to take point control and earn points. And also Team Deathmatch, goes without saying, and Ranked. So Ranked is the same game mode as Siege. However, when players are choosing a champion, each team can pick 2 champions to ban, which makes them unavailable for either team. Also, each team can see the opponent's champions that are picked and selected, and once a champion is picked by any player on the team, the other team cannot use that same champion. One thing that kind of separates Paladins from like similar games, you might say. And when I say similar games, I'm smiling over here. I'm thinking about Overwatch because I remember the clash or the discussions that were all over the internet when it comes to Paladins being claimed or accused, I would say, to be like a rip-off of Overwatch. And then they say no, the development started before Overwatch and so forth, back and forth, whatever have you. This is not so interesting now in 2021. I think they have their own identities, and I said that already back then. I made a video about it. Sure, there are definitely similarities, you can see that, but hey, isn't there similarities nowadays between a lot of games, I would say. But one thing that kind of separates the two, now again referring, even though I told you I wouldn't, Overwatch and Paladins, is the possibility to customize the gameplay of the characters by unlocking talents, by leveling up, and also creating a deck with classic cards. So each champion has 3 talents, and each talent gives the champion a great advantage, but only one can be selected per game. They cannot stack. There's also abilities when it comes to these champions. They have like a basic attack and also varying skills. Usually 3 skills in addition to basic attack, which means on PC 2 mouse clicks and 3 keyboard keys. And there's also a currency, in-game currency, that has like the game has different currencies, I think. So battle pass XP for daily quests or in-game achievements, and then the crystals, yes, that's right, for purchasing with real money, and gold for leveling up, daily visits, quests, or playing individual matches. So currencies can be used to purchase special items in the game. It's also interesting to see that they actually released a mobile version of the game, which was launched in May 2018. I've never tried that, which is called Paladin Strike. And also, of course, since Battle Royale started to become a thing, Realm Royale was released as a third-person shooter Battle Royale game in June 2018. And ADRESS decided to give Paladins a corresponding mode name, which was Paladins Battlegrounds. So later the mode became its own game and it was called Realm Royale. And the game is free to play, integrating microtransaction and in-app purchases. I did not see, and I haven't really checked if this is still up and running. Probably it is, and I don't know. If anyone is playing Realm Royale at this moment, let me know. Is it still a thing, and are you enjoying it? I also mentioned a bit that Paladins is a title that is played in esports. So the Esports League, Paladins Premier League, PPL, was founded in cooperation between the developer and the VESA. And this promises the participating e-athletes a fixed salary and support from the clubs. So look at that now. And Paladins has now an active esports scene with several major tournaments per year, such as World Championships and DreamHack competitions as of November 2019. But tournaments and competitions aside, how is the game doing in 2021? Well, from my perspective, getting back into it a bit here, it feels as if it's doing well. And I mean, I've been checking out the updates through the years when ADRESS has been adding like new champions and other stuff. So with that said, I believe that the developers are taking care about their game as well, which is very, very important, and therefore we have this high player base still in 2021. So if you're new to the game, definitely check it out. Give it a try if you haven't. I do think it's worth it. And for those of you that have been playing the game for a very long time, I'm curious to hear if you're still doing that. And of course, if you have anything to add here, maybe you have experiences like, I know that there's been updates and things added that people haven't been too happy about. I mean, this is something that happens all the time, also with similar games. But foremost, once again, I think Paladins is a very competent game. I've had fun playing it through the years, and maybe you as well. Let me know in the comment section, and I also want to say thank you for watching. Take care, people out there, and if you're new to my channel, consider to subscribe. And I hope to see you out there, and have a beautiful day, and game on, my friends. Bye-bye.
Time to take charge.
15 seconds remaining.
Frozen.